What's up, guys? Welcome into the BOTB football show. We are bare bones today. I mean, I don't know what happens. We leave Cafe T, and then we're bare bones without intro music. We're in the 90s on our system CPU, which a lot of you nerds won't know what I'm talking about. That's okay. But, hey, we're here. We're doing a show.
Welcome in to everybody on the BOTB listener line out there.
Yes.
No, this is not a back room of Cafe Telegraph. This isn't the storage room of Cafe Telegraph.
No, absolutely not. This is the BOTB studios, though.
BOTB studios.
Welcome
all right.
to see everybody
It's
out
not
there.
like that episode of The Office where they kick Ryan into the janitor's closet.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
what
right.
Wild Bill had enough of us.
He was just like,
You can film it in the closet.
he said, no, thank you. I don't want your guys' shit here anymore. We're out. No.
I was gonna say, we worked our ass off to
Cafe
make this
Telegraph
thing. Come on, this
loved
isn't
us.
a closet.
And
beautiful.
we have
Yeah.
2 Cafe Telegraph gift cards to give away
Two!
to you guys. If you share this post, go down there and share it with all your friends. Enter in for a $20 chance to go get the best smoked meats in town.
Best smoked meats in town. That's Cafe Telegraph, 2650 Telegraph Road. They hosted our show all the way from week 1 through week 16. We had last week off. Here we are for Wild Card Weekend. Pumped up. Cafe Telegraph, a great sponsor. We also got, again, some awesome sponsors. K. Roberts, Remax Gold. Can't say enough about her. How many times have I told you? I'm going to keep telling you. The best real estate agent in town, 314-409-4113. That's the number. You can get in touch with her. She will talk to you day or night. She's going to help you out, get your new home, sell your old home. She worked with us. Me and my wife got this brand new home where we could build this wonderful studio. So obviously it
we're not
wouldn't
in
be
your house,
possible.
TJ.
So Nick, your studio wouldn't be possible without K. Roberts
Thank
from
you.
Remax Gold.
Thank you, K. Roberts from Remax Gold.
So again, 314-409-4113. And not to mention Sarah Barron as well from Family Finance Mortgage, 314-537-1282, also helping us get in our new home. So thank you to Kay and Sarah for everything that they do. And finally, last but not least, STL Distillery. Nick, show them the bottle. Brew vodka. A great product. It's distilled from craft beer. You can't get any better than that. It's distilled from craft beer. And now, honestly, Nick, it's the smoothest you'll ever have.
It's so smooth.
It's very good.
It is so smooth. You can go find them 755 Freedens Road, Suite B, St. Charles, Missouri, 63303, or you can find them online at stldistillery.com.
If I go 0-2 again today, I'm going to be taking out, about half of that.
Okay. Rip it down, baby. Rip it down. It's smooth
It's not
as
going to
hell.
happen, Zook. Don't you worry.
Smooth as hell. Well, we're not sure if we're on because I'm seeing red over there, but hey, we'll keep
We're
this
actually-
thing
We're on.
going.
I got it pulled up.
Is it?
We're
It might
good.
be a little behind. All right. Well, we'll
No
see.
worries.
Actually, we're down to, we're up to 89% now, but we
Yeah,
were
but
down
there's
to 86.
that little button over it. Now it's green. Usually
Yeah.
when it's red, it's not a good sign. So it's a BOTB difference.
It
We're here
looks
on
smooth.
Wi-Fi.
I see Rojo myself.
We got tons of people in here. We got 10 people in here.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
So,
Welcome.
okay,
Welcome.
I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just flow right through.
Yeah, just flow right through, TJ. No
Okay,
worries.
we'll do that. We had 2 games yesterday, boys.
Yes.
This is a little
Yes,
different.
we did.
little different type of show because we're used to picking, 10, 15 games a week. Now we're down to 2 because we had 2 yesterday already. Got a lot of playoffs left to go. So it's more of a conversation about what happened yesterday. I'm not going to brag. I was one of the guys, me and Nick actually, that go 2 of 2 yesterday. Just dominating.
Just killed it.
Just listen to our picks.
Yeah.
Houston Texans winning 22-19 against the Bills.
Easy.
It wasn't easy.
After being down
Texans,
16-0.
Texans look brutal.
it's so bad.
They can't move the football. It was ugly.
So bad.
Yeah, Texans look terrible, and for some reason, I knew that they would come to play in the second half, but I thought it was too much. It was 16-0. Buffalo looked like they were just going to roll. And their defense, for some reason, Watson just couldn't move the football. And it was one of those things where they figured it out late, which I figured they would, but at that point, 16-0, I thought Buffalo would figure it out and end up just beating them by a lot because they were already up by 2 touchdowns.
When you saw that first touchdown where Josh Allen catches
Oh,
the touchdown
man.
pass, you're like, Buffalo's going to roll here.
Yeah.
Or you thought it was going to be a
Houston wasn't
high-scoring
ready for
back
that.
and forth. But, man, then Watson took his first possession and was like, oh, my God, this is ugly. Got uglier. And then when he scored the touchdown and used power and finesse, like, where's that been all day?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's been one of those things where it's been the same issue all year long that you have DeAndre Hopkins. Use DeAndre Hopkins.
Right.
And it's been an issue because they double him when Will Fuller's out. That was a big question mark going into yesterday. No Will Fuller. So how is DeAndre Hopkins going to show? And so they tried to run the ball with Carlos Hyde against the Bills' defensive line in the first half, and it just does not work. Second half, they switch things up, go high tempo, DeAndre Hopkins, score a quick touchdown, and then they went to J.J. Watt, who really was before that Houston touchdown. Houston drives, punts, Buffalo gets the ball back, and it was the stop that J.J. Watt where he sacked where he sacked Josh Allen that really changed the turn, set the tempo for Houston, and really got that crowd back into it.
For sure.
And then a debacle when they were in field goal range, and they just kept sacking and penalties.
That was so embarrassing.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God,
That was embarrassing.
And how about Allen with this trying to flip the ball back with a whole minute
Oh
left in
my
the football
God.
game? He was like out of control. He was like out of his mind right there.
Well, you saw a quarterback that was, he's 23 years old, first playoff game he's ever played in, and through the first half, you're like, oh, this guy's a magician. He's leading his team in receiving, passing, and rushing all in the first half,
Yeah.
and then so he's poised, ice water in his veins under pressure, and then finally late, once Houston kind of got back into it, you didn't have that comfortable 16-0 pad of a lead. That's when it came, where he kind of crippled under pressure. Because especially there was like minute 40 on the clock. There's no reason that he needs to pitch that ball away. There's plenty of time. Just go down with it and then, run a couple more plays. You have 6 or 7 more plays and you're on your own 30-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, as great as Deshaun Watson was, like, Nick, you're right. Like, that was the known commodity of the Texans. The unknown was, like, how flat they've been at times, which they played like that in the first half. But what worried me about the Bills all week was, I felt like the Bills were the better football team. I felt like Josh Allen held them back in big games. When you watched him play the Patriots, he would be the one that just kind of wasn't on the same page because he's still developing. Like Nick said, he's 23 years old, first playoff game, and he unraveled under the bright lights. Like he lost them that game. I mean, I know that sounds harsh, but he lost them the game.
They had it. I mean, they were shutting down Houston in their own house, and what I figure what was going to happen, which is what happened, is Watson started running the football, and they couldn't stop him. That's
No.
what it was. Like Nick said, they tried to force Carlos Hyde down their throat, and the Bills are laughing, like, keep doing that all game. You guys aren't going to score one thing.
Carlos
And they're-
Hyde ain't no Derrick Henry.
And they're covering Hopkins, so, like, what are you going to do? And there's no Will Fuller. They're not a big tight end team, so Watson has to run the football, and guess what? He did, and that's why they won the football game.
Yeah, but like I said in the article, I really wanted Houston out of this thing because they're a time bomb. They're a ticking time bomb. They could go off at any time,
Yep.
especially if Fuller
They're a
gets in
basketball
football
team.
If Fuller gets in a football game, now they really got a better mix going on out there. And Watson's very talented. You can go out. They can go off any time and score 40 points. I really feel that way. And I wanted them out because you can't predict that shit.
Yeah.
I wanted them out. But they're
They're also dangerous, though, where I think they could, like, make a step and keep going because they have all this talent.
Yes.
And you're waiting for them to, like, be
All
dominant,
year.
and they're just not.
Well,
it's
and
weird.
on the
I know.
Yeah.
On the defensive side of the ball, not having J.J. Watt was kind of he's the glue for that team.
Yeah.
He's their captain. He is the glue that holds the team. You can see it on the sideline, on the field. He's getting the fans hyped. He's getting the guys hyped on the sideline. Having him in there but besides his play on the field, having him in there as the leader of that team.
Right.
Deshaun Watson's the leader on offense, but J.J. Watt's their captain on defense, and that's a game changer. And I think, too, for Buffalo, they're a really strong team. I still think they're a year away from what they can be. The past couple of years, they made great strides. Josh Allen looks to be the answer for them at quarterback. But there's plays in that game where, when I guess the Texans had 3rd and 18, and really I think it should have been longer than that because there was a delay of game that was not called. Clock hit 0, and they hadn't hiked the ball yet, where they dump underneath to Duke Johnson, and he runs good. I guess they threw it to him, and he ran about another 10 or 11 yards right to the first down marker, and they just left it open wide. I mean, they were playing
Right.
deep, but they left that underneath there, and he took it, and that was kind of the
way,
game.
way too soft on that one to leave that underneath check
it
down
was-
pass.
So the Texans then go to, is it Baltimore, or they play
KC.
They play against Kansas City. That's
Yeah.
actually a really good matchup. I don't know why. I have a feeling, Kansas City should roast them, but again, we talk about if they can get their offense going, they're always a one-half team, Houston is, and you don't know which one it is, first half or second half.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in the game if you don't run away with it. Kansas City's one of those offenses that should be able to run away with it, but it scares me more to go against them than it would against the Bills. I don't know.
Absolutely, ticking time bomb. Like I said, it's a mess. One thing on Buffalo.
No,
John-
they go to Baltimore.
Who?
Are you sure?
No. Titans are going to Baltimore.
Yeah, Titans are going to Baltimore. I thought. I think
because-
he's right.
Because they're the lower seed.
Yeah.
Just got taken out
Yeah,
by
you
the
got to
mic
take it
there.
up with the mic. You gotta take-
Bam!
In,
Put your helmet
in
on.
this bracket, they have they have it as the Texans go to Baltimore. But since it's the lower seeding, I guess you're right. They go to Kansas
What kind of
City.
bracket
Yeah.
is that? Get that out of there.
So the bracket, because I was messed up a couple years ago. I did a bracket challenge when the playoffs started,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, dude,
Yeah.
there's no
It all
bracket.
changes,
It
yeah.
changes, and
Yeah.
I forgot about
Yeah, I
that. It
forgot about
totally
that.
changes with whoever wins.
So
Yeah.
the Texans, because I was thinking that the Titans would go to Kansas City, and then Derrick Henry would have another good matchup for running the ball because KC's run defense blows. So
Right.
that's going to be a little bit harder for him, I guess, then because they're going to Baltimore.
That's the thing.
Tennessee is.
That game is going to be, I mean, that's under City because it's running. You got
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram. They're going to try to run the football, and then I think the Ravens are going to roast them. But then you got Derrick Henry because the reason I say they're going to roast him is because of all the firepower. And you saw yesterday against New England. We'll talk about that game in a second. But Tennessee runs the football. That's all they do. I mean, Tannehill's fine. He can throw a little bit, but how'd they win the game? Derrick Henry gets over 150 yards rushing.
Well, I tell you what, there was a couple times where you're sitting there, and they really needed a first down. It was like 3rd and 3, and they passed. When he threw that interception and floated that ball up, I'm like, what are you doing? You got the biggest back in the history of football. You need 3 frickin' yards, and you're floating one up out in the corner. What's going on?
Yeah.
So I didn't like that play call. There was a few different play calls like that in that game. Like I said, we're going to talk about that in a second. Just to touch back on the first game one last time, that Buffalo, I think Buffalo fans have a lot to be excited about. I think Allen, when you get a young guy, 23 years old, that showing that excitement, I think you can tame that with maturity. He's going to tame that. He's going to get better. They add a couple weapons, add a couple linemen.
For sure.
They can be a football team for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And what John Brown has at wide receiver, I mean, they have those weapons there. And even Devin Singletary in the backfield. I mean,
Devin Singletary's really good.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah, I
Consistent.
don't know. It's just tough. I think I mean, don't you even after watching that game feel like the Bills were probably a little better? It just felt to me like they blew it.
No, they did.
They definitely blew it. I mean,
they should be in this next
they
game.
did.
I think the Texans have more talent, though. I
Well,
think that's night and day.
It was the same
I mean,
situation
I know
as
the coach.
2017 AFC Championship when the Jags played the Patriots.
Yeah.
The Jags get out to a lead, and then they just let off the gas. Buffalo did the same thing.
Yeah,
you get out hot
absolutely.
with a trick play. You score 16 straight unanswered against a Houston team in their own dome. Yeah. And Houston's a team that got beat at home, remember, by Drew Lock and the Broncos. So it's Houston's done this
Got killed.
before where they don't always play their best game at home.
Right.
And so they're a beatable team at home.
Right.
Buffalo went in there, answered to that. But again, Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson for a reason. And he kind of took care of business, made that Houdini play at the end of the game to escape those two defensive linemen to keep that play alive. And after that, it was all over.
Yeah, I mean, the quarterbacks just ended up being the difference in that game because I felt like Buffalo probably was better in every area, like you were saying, except for at quarterback, and it was so noticeable, especially in the second half. Josh Allen just looked like a deer in headlights. He's
chunking balls,
lateraling
deep,
balls.
Oh, yeah.
He's throwing
He's
it up
like
to
a
the
Sandlot guy.
He's
like
throwing
a
it up
bunch
to
of
the
us trying to
fullback.
break it apart.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Triple coverage to the fullback, like 50 yards down the field. But here's one thing that you could put on the Buffalo coaching. You had a 16-0 lead with a 23-year-old quarterback who's not known for his accuracy or pocket passing ability. They threw it 46 times.
Run the ball.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you're up 16-0. Run
the ball.
the damn football. Yeah.
Run the damn
Eat
ball.
Run the
clock.
damn ball.
The
Run the
whole,
clock
the whole
out.
thing feels like a boxing match. Like they had a chance to knock him out, and they didn't do it. And here's Houston now that can maybe do something if they get lucky and this ticking time bomb goes off and they could start going crazy. That can happen, but we had a chance to knock them out. It didn't happen.
And they missed it.
Let's go to the comment line. Colby Wedbick says, "Skull, skull, skull." He also says, "Yale, take that effing shirt off." So
Fuck your Vikings. No one's rolling today.
Nick Tolley says the Patriots dynasty has not fallen.
They're dead as a
See,
doornail.
that's a typical Patriots
They're
fan.
dead as
We
a-
have not even said anything about it
They're
yet.
dead
And
as
he's
a
going off.
doornail,
Tom Brady will
Tolley.
come back
We
with
don't
a
even- yeah,
vengeance next
right.
year
They're dead
and win a
as a
7th Super Bowl.
doornail.
We haven't said anything. That's the Patriots headlines today. Tom's not going anywhere. Well, I was talking about the Blues, so I don't know where that came from. It's like, that's a Patriots fan.
We're
for
getting
you.
there, Tally. We're getting there.
That's right.
We're getting there. We have plenty of thoughts.
So speaking of the New England game, Zook, we'll keep you over here for a second because the experts will be talking
The
just for a
experts will
second.
be
The
just-
Tennessee pickers. Now, I will say I'm very happy because a lot of us picked Tennessee outright just to
We all
win the
did.
game.
Yep.
I honestly deep down thought the Patriots would get it done. I had a feeling on paper the way that Tennessee had been playing, but it's Foxborough, it's Brady. He had one last shot before they punted the ball with 3 minutes left. I'm like, okay, this is where he marches down the field and they win by 2.
I thought he was.
That's
gonna
what I thought
do
was
that
going to
there.
happen.
I mean,
When they were on the 1 yard line, I thought it was over. There's only 12 seconds left, and then he threw a pick six. But
It didn't matter.
the
it doesn't matter.
Patriots are one of those teams where all year long I've been either on or off the Patriots just by gut feelings. And usually, like early on in the season, felt pretty good about the Patriots until I think I picked the Patriots in the KC and the Baltimore games, and they didn't look like the same Patriots. And that's where it almost was a turning point. They had a great schedule to start the season, a very favorable schedule. They brought their power, and then they got into some of those bigger games, and you saw their weakness. And so to me, when we were talking about that game, looking at it from a matchup standpoint, I mean, I think New England was only favored by 4.5. So it was a game where, to me, yeah, it's more than a field goal. Yeah, it's Foxborough. Yes, it's Tom Brady. Yes, it's Bill Belichick. But the Titans, ever since Tannehill took over, there's just been something about them that kind of shifted. And I didn't really buy into the Titans until late in the season. But
nobody ever does.
Yeah.
Was the first
I was
one.
on him early.
Yeah, you were. And I mean, from watching Derrick Henry the back half of the season, because again, Derrick Henry, first couple of years of his career, didn't really seem like that great. I mean, he was awesome at Alabama, awesome in high school, but they didn't have the passing game going, so they keyed on Derrick Henry. Once Tannehill opened up that passing game, then you see the cement truck that is Derrick Henry run all over the place. And to me, against a New England defense that's been number one all year, and that matchup, though, they let up in the run game a little bit. It just seemed like a great matchup for Derrick Henry to explode if they could pass the ball a little bit. Because, I mean, I don't think Tannehill, I guess, did he have one touchdown, one passing to start the game? Was that the only one he had?
To the Ferkser guy.
Yeah, I mean,
the
it was
Ferkser guy.
But it was that play that opened up the rest of the game for Derrick Henry, because you gotta drop your guys a little bit and open it up. But we can't give up the pass.
But like you say, New England's number one defense, but that was a false number one because of their softness of schedule in the first half of the season. When we look at the second half of the season, they didn't do as well. And you can kind of see this whole thing fading out to yesterday's ball game. And you're exactly right. So the Titans were on a roll. New England was on a downslide. You're going to see it happening. We all forecasted the game. I mean, it looked good. It looked like we were going to dominate on the run game. We did. It looked like New England was going to still move the football. Remember, I mean, yesterday in an article I said, look, this is going to be no cakewalk. It's still going to be a struggle. Belichick and Brady are going to find a way to compete here.
Right.
And they moved the football, but New England has lacked at separation receiver all year long. Josh Gordon didn't pan out.
Antonio Brown
did not pan out. Harry, and then they brought in Sanu.
Gronk's gone.
Sanu's a second guy.
For a second-round pick, too.
Sanu's a second guy. He's not a lead receiver. Nobody showed to be a lead receiver over there. So when all those three experiments failed, they had no separation deep, plus Gronk gone. New England is New England. That's where they're at right now.
Edelman gets keyed on, like you said. It's just that just destroys their entire offense.
They need another weapon that can get separation, and I don't know if you want to get into the Brady saga
Let's
right
do
now.
it. Yeah, we might as well.
But I'll tell you right now, this whole thing to me, if Brady's going to come back, if New England's going to keep it going, and I'll predict this right now, I'm going to say yes. And I think it has a lot to do with Kraft. So Kraft, you'll find out about Kraft's ego right now. If he's still got an ego, he got caught in a jackmate down in Florida, wherever the hell. So he's out of the playoffs.
Did not have a happy ending.
He had jerkmate down there, so he's down on those two fronts. If he wants to build himself back up, he's going to put some wide receivers on a football team. He's going to build that team back up. He's going to sign Tom Brady. The only one he's going to lose is McDaniels, and they're going to roll.
Did you hear Portnoy go off about Kraft whenever he got caught or whatever? Portnoy from Barstool's a big Patriots guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he sits there and he goes, like, oh, the news is saying he's like part of this prostitution ring. The guy just got a little rub and tug. Give him a break. It was so funny. It was he goes, it was in the office, the Barstool office. He goes, everybody has been to a rug and tug. Raise your hand. And 20 guys raised their hand.
That's amazing.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
looking at that, it's interesting because all the reporters asking Brady and Belichick, 12 hours after the game, hey, you guys going to come back? You guys going to come back? And it's you don't know. You don't know if you're going to come back or not. But when you look at it on paper, and I was talking to a buddy of mine last night about this, what other options does Brady have out there? He has Los Angeles, the Chargers. Philip Rivers, may or may not be there. You have the
His
Colts.
arm's done. He should.
You have the Colts, where you have Jagote. I mean, a former Patriot guy, and then outside of that, there might be a few other options, but it's the same thing with Tom as it was with if you compare Peyton Manning to the Denver Broncos. Denver had to change their system for Peyton Manning coming in there, and that was for 3 or 4 years of Peyton Manning. For Tom Brady, you're only going to get 1 or 2 years of Tom Brady. So if you're a team that wants Tom Brady, are you going to bring him in for 1 or 2 years and change your entire system around just to fit Tom Brady when he's 43 years old?
If he doesn't play for the Patriots, he's done.
He's done.
That's my opinion.
Here's the whole thing, though. McDaniels is a key part of this. They say he's ready for a head coaching job. He's getting people wanting to pull him in and interview him right now. So you got McDaniels, you got Brady, and I think they're going to package it right within a draft pick also. So you go ahead and you take a guy like the LSU quarterback, right? So you bring Brady in, bring in an LSU quarterback, you bring in McDaniels, let him train this guy for 2 years underneath him. Boom, now you got something.
So the thing is, I think the guy that the Patriots will go after and should go after, to me, because he's going to be available, is Jake Fromm from Georgia. Because a guy like Burrow's going to LSU, or is going to Cincinnati.
Number one.
He's going number one. So he's not going to be available.
Ohio
No, I'm not saying you don't have to make a blockbuster trade or something to open this all up and get that number one pick, but that I could see a trifecta of those three guys to making something.
You know, I was telling Zook yesterday, I actually saw an article that someone wrote that who said a perfect, I guess, replacement for the Patriots in their system would be Andy Dalton. And I'm like, actually, that's kind of interesting. Like, I could see it because Dalton's losing his job. And Dalton has proven that he is not – consistent's the wrong word.
He gets
but
a bad rap.
He gets a bad rap. He really does because of the weapons around him.
The red rifle.
How many games has A.J. Green played in the last 3 years for him? I mean, let's be honest.
Five.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it, but I wouldn't start Dalton on the Battlehawks. I'm serious.
Why?
No,
he
it's
won
because
a lot of division
Dad is-
titles with Cincinnati.
Dad's lost money with Dalton.
He
Don't
owes
take
me-
his opinion.
he owes
Dad's
me
lost money with Dalton forever. and then every time he bets against him, he
It
kicks his
doesn't matter
ass.
what side. The red
Rocket.
Rojo Rocket.
I think another good point that a lot of people are
Rojo Rocket.
miss
I like
out on
that.
the Patriots saga is that this isn't all about Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. This is about the rest of the team, too. You look at Tom Brady. Yeah, he's 42, 43 years old. Bill Belichick's old. But the rest of the team's old, too. You got Julian Edelman. You got Devin McCourty. You got Kyle Van Noy. There's a lot of old guys that are on this team. I mean, it takes more than one to win a championship. And Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but what about all these other surrounding pieces around him that are aging veterans too? You lost Gronk. That was one guy, and it shut down the Patriots this year.
What's Bill's contract situation? I have no idea. Brady's up now, obviously.
Bill's going nowhere
whatever
fast.
he wants.
Well, I'm just saying, like, is he in that situation where Brady – I doubt Brady's done. I agree with that. I think he'll be back in New England.
Yeah, I don't think he's done.
But
I don't think either of them are done.
My thing is, what if Brady somehow shocks everybody and he is done, how much longer does Bill stay? Because I think he'll be back at least a couple years, but how long is that?
I think Belichick and Brady are both going to Kraft. And really, there's another secret weapon, Gronk. I don't think Gronk's out of the picture up there.
Has he put his retirement paperwork in yet?
Well, he's done some paperwork that he couldn't come back this year, but don't count him out of that New England picture also. But all these guys, it's all going to Kraft. All three of these guys, they go to Kraft. Okay, what do you want to do? What are you going to give us a team? Are you going to build this team back up or what? Because if you're not, and we're not going to get receivers with separation, and we're not going to keep our line beefed up and get a running back in addition to Michelle, what's going on, Robert? What are you going to do money-wise? Well, then we'll tell you what we're going to do.
Yeah, I think that's really the issue. Like the combination of what both of you guys said, the core pieces have started to get old, and the reason they struggled this year is because they've kind of missed on their draft picks recently. Sony Michel hasn't been that good. He's been okay, but he hasn't been that good. N'Keal Harry gave them nothing. That was their first-round pick this past spring. Then a couple springs ago, it was Isaiah Wynn, who I think has been okay. I really like him. He's out of Georgia. He's a lineman, but he was hurt and missed his whole rookie year. So like they just and when you're picking constantly at the bottom of the draft, on paper everybody knew. I mean, you all three picked it, but I don't dispute that the Titans were clearly better than them on paper. It's just that you bet it. I was betting on the dynasty, Brady, Belichick, and that whole aura that they had going on, but they've never had like really good players. Even when they were constantly winning Super Bowls, they were doing it with 4th, 5th round picks, that sort of thing, and they haven't been able to develop that. And so now the onus was on the older guys that can't get separation or dominate like they used to.
Well, I tell you what, too, in this game, it's a small story because it was a running game. Tennessee runs the football, but Patrick Chung went out in the first quarter, and then you also had Gilmore go out in the third quarter. Yeah. I mean, so their defense was done in the second half, and they're already down, and they can't stop Henry regardless. So you have that on top of what we were talking about, that Brady just hasn't had weapons all season. That's the thing. Right. And we always say, oh, he's good enough to like make make receivers and everything, but it's not that easy.
You still got to have separation. You know, defensive backs in this league are good, and the damn referees are letting them get away with so much out there. You got to have separation, or you're going to get chopped to hell by a karate, secondary guy.
Yeah. I mean, karate secondary.
It's what's going on in
Karate
the league.
secondary guy.
Yeah, I mean, you look at those wide receivers, and you're right that Julian Edelman's been their only go-to guy, and without Gronk, it just shows how much of how important Gronk was to that team. Because Tom has always been the dink and dump guy over the middle, set up the run game here with the big back who. They've never had really a running back that's been a stud. Like, their running backs are studs, but there are a lot of, like, no-name guys. Sony Michel, I think, is better than the crop that they have had in the past just because, again, I think he's not obviously the Derrick Henry type. He's a smaller back. But if you open up that passing game, then that opens up Michel's running game. And so he hasn't had the success this year that he's probably capable of because they haven't had the wide receivers. And like you said, they spent a first-round pick on N'Keal Harry. Even picking lower in the draft, the last pick in the first round, you're not getting a proven guy that's like, yeah, this is a Joe Burrow, this is a guarantee, but you should still be getting a guy that can give you something on the field, and N'Keal Harry just didn't do it this year.
Right. Your thoughts are welcome on the Facebook text line, 314-877-8597 as well. Let's see. Tolly said Nick's pinned comment asks for thoughts about the fall of the Patriots.
So
you just let him get roasted.
Yeah. I just let him. I just let him get absolutely toasted there.
Nick's still upset that the new rankings, the top. Oh, actually, I do have new rankings. He did give me new rankings in the text line. I was gonna save this for Brews. We might do it again.
Yeah.
But this actually
Didn't he
involves
put me
you
in
two as
last
well.
place?
Yeah, man, you missed a show.
Now it's changed though. Okay.
What the hell is wrong with this guy?
So this is on Friday. Do you guys want to hear him?
Yeah,
So
let's
see
hear
what
it.
you're on.
Actually, before I rip him, let's see where I am now.
Do you want to start? Do you want to start? Yeah, maybe we'll update. Hold on a
Start
second.
at the top. Start at the top and go down.
Do you want the top and go down?
Yeah.
Number one, my wife Laura.
Nice.
And he's got examples this time.
He's
of
got
why.
examples. Very good,
So
Sally.
he says
Very good.
Laura's been killing it, and like she said before the holidays, the football show wouldn't have happened without her.
That's true.
I don't understand
Key
that.
component.
She brought the card.
Oh yeah,
she
that's right, the
was always
chords.
bringing stuff up to the show.
Yeah.
Always bring when she even wanted to go to the show, she still showed up and brought all your stuff for you.
Nice. That's right. That's right. Number two, TJ. Obviously, I don't get out of the top two. He says very obvious. He does all the work. Nick couldn't even edit what he called his own podcast. So
Wow.
that puts me in number two.
Okay.
Number three is Kendall. So you three are in the bottom three.
Nice.
Yeah, I was about to say. So
way
we're
to go,
ripping him
boys.
still.
Yeah.
Said
He-
during the Christmas show, gave gifts that brought solid entertainment to the gift exchange episode.
Nice.
Okay.
Mine were solid gifts that brought. I got Nerf guns. I got a shitty lava lamp.
Yeah, it was good.
It was awesome.
Number four is Zook. Beat me in the fantasy championship.
Zook.
So somehow
Yeah.
he's
That's
at
it.
four.
So I'll be back. I'll be back to six in a week.
So Tolly gets
Right.
no T-shirt or gift cards for
This-
losing
yeah.
the fantasy championship.
Let's see. Number five. Can you guess who's number five?
Probably Nick because
No,
Tally's
it's Big Web.
No, it's Nick.
Oh, nice.
Tally, what the
Go.
hell?
Tally, you're my guy.
Listen, here we go. Nick says made fantasy playoff matchups 2 weeks costing me the championship. Made fantasy playoff matchups 2 weeks costing me the championship. What does that mean?
Oh, he's talking about the
the settings.
championship.
Yeah. settings. Yeah.
Which I didn't even realize. That's set up for a great Sunday night Week 17 matchup though.
Yeah.
Of two QBs, Russell Wilson and Jimmy G
Yeah.
for the championship.
Yeah.
No idea. It was entertaining.
These rankings are volatile.
Let's see. And then Big Web is number six.
Ouch.
Says his friend Stanley Cup that we all enjoy has disappeared, and he has missed the last couple football shows.
What the hell do I have to do with Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
And also, I
You're
like
his
to-
handler, I thought.
Oh yeah, here's the list of listeners.
He's like the guy with the white
and
gloves.
I got Tally's 50th out here on my list. Better get to work,
50
boy.
of 40.
50th of 6. That's a tough ranking.
So here, I will say, I will give it to
Kinda beefing up.
yeah.
Stanley Cup, too, I believe, may have called in. We have a voicemail
allegedly.
He told me.
that it may be him.
Allegedly.
So,
He told me
I
he
don't
was
know.
going to call.
Dude,
Tally, I
he's
don't
been
know.
on a bender in Vegas. I mean,
I wish he would have called last week and Tally wouldn't have
Well-
put me sixth.
well,
You
Bass.
keep calling him
I
Tally. I love it.
don't have anything to do with
Well,
He calls him Tally.
Tally.
What's his name?
Tally, what the fuck? Maybe that's why you're six.
His name is Tooley, but we call him
Tally.
Tally. His name's actually Tooley, but we call him Tolly.
Yeah, everybody calls him Tally.
really-
And then he also said, also loved the first episode of Biz on the Balcony. Keep killing
Thank
it.
you.
God bless.
Thank you.
That was good.
Thanks, Tally.
No,
Yeah.
no thanks, Tally.
Well, you know,
Tally.
not 6 is good enough for me. So I mean,
Yeah, that's a step up. That's like number 1 for you,
I'll
Nick.
gladly wear 5.
Yeah,
and
pretty
that's
good.
comfortable. That's comfortable. No, but speaking of Stanley Cup, I mean, he was out in Vegas on a bender. And then he found Bassmaster. Bassmaster and him met up.
Yeah, that's right.
While they were out there on Bassmaster's on his bachelor party, and Bassmaster, who owes me a 6-pack, said that him and Stanley had an agreement, a bet that they made, which is on air.
Yeah.
That Stanley has to give me my 6-pack for beating Bassmaster in the Patriots Pittsburgh.
Well,
bet, I think it was.
Dad handles his finances, so
Yeah,
technically
so-
Dad owes him
You got-
a 6-pack.
You gotta.
I have nothing to do with Stanley's finance. Stanley owes me plenty.
Do we know about Stanley's whereabouts now? Was he still in
No,
Vegas yesterday for the Blues game?
He
Possibly.
called me.
Just
He
fighting
was-
a bunch of
he
Golden
was
Knights
in-
fans?
He was in a
Just fighting.
He was in a rut, some kind of accident situation. He's okay.
He
but
always
he's-
is.
Yeah, he had a problem.
By the
Some kind
way,
of coma.
if you guys didn't see the post, if you share this post, you get a chance to win a free Cafe Telegraph $20 gift certificate. We're giving away
$20.
2 today.
Two?
2 of them.
Please.
2 of them.
These suckers. 2, 1, 2.
2.
That's $40.
It's 40. It's a lot of money.
$40.
$40
Can
each.
you win
That's
twice?
a lot of. That's a lot of chicken.
That's a
Ooh,
chunk
you
of
could
change
get the
right
bacon
there.
and the par fried and
Hell
pay me
yeah.
a
That is
couple
a
bucks.
chunk
Get
of
a
change
side salad and a couple
right
beers
there.
too, if you'd
Cold
like to.
beer.
Side
Oh, yeah.
salad and the cold water too. That's free though. I mean, ice cold water.
Ice cold
free.
water
You
is
gotta buy
free.
something. You got to buy something.
Yeah, buy a salad or something
Buy
at
a
least.
salad.
Yeah.
Tell him Bruce in the balcony sent you.
Let's see. So we talked about 2 with the New England situation. Interesting on social media that we saw our old friend Antonio Brown get involved.
Oh,
Went
I
on
got
a-
some tweets
Nick, go
here.
ahead and read the
Yeah,
tweets.
I got to pull these up. I took
This
screenshots
guy.
last night. At post game of the Patriots game, he was just going on a tweeting rampage, which was great. The first one was 2020 only want to play with Tom Brady or no play. So he wants Tom to come back to New England.
Yeah, and he wants to be back in New England.
He wants to be the wide receiver. He also still tweeted, "I'm still the best in the game. Hate it or love it. Ask your daddy." Everything.
Dad, is he the best?
Okay. Let me tell you something. You take who votes for cutting Antonio Brown's thumbs off and Donald Trump's thumbs off with this frickin' tweet stuff.
And
They can still
have-
tweet like this.
We have
Whatever.
he's
It's
like-
quote
yeah.
he's quote tweeting CBS that was quoting Brady. Who knows what the future holds? We'll leave it at that. AB quotes tweets it says call me, so he wants Tom to call him. Still trying to get back on the Patriots.
Sure,
And he tweets just God's plan. And then 10 hours before that, he tweeted. Apparently, he has a new single out called "Whole Lot of Money."
Oh,
Said,
does he really?
Go
A new
download my
single.
debut single right now. #Whole Lot of Money. #link in bio. So
Where is this
Jesus.
now?
So
You
You
gonna
gotta
play
listen
it?
to
A,
this.
B,
Play it
yeah,
on
A-
air?
I kind of want to play it. We don't have
Yeah.
our cord working. I can play it through my phone.
okay,
though.
yeah, we'll look up "Whole Lot of Money" by Antonio Brown. And then his pin tweet.
If you could ever say anything in your life that you would never say, oh, look up Antonio Brown's track,
new
please.
single, "Whole Lot of Money," and of course his pin tweet from December 12th, "No more white women 2020." So
Nice.
he's just hit a
Nice.
I mean,
He's on one.
I
Good
mean, he
piece
did
of
a
work.
gutter. Let's look up to see if he's tweeted anything in the last 10 hours since last night after the Patriots game. I'm sure he has because he's always out there tweeting. He did do a workout with the New Orleans Saints a few weeks ago, and then tweeted out "Who Dat Nation," and then 6 hours later, when he realized he wasn't getting signed by them, just said it was just a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
Kind of blaming the New Orleans Saints and Sean Payton for giving him a workout.
Well, then don't show up, you moron.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's a lot of. He's just.
I don't have any internet, Nick. I
he's
can't
kinda
be on
all over the
Wi-Fi,
place.
otherwise our show's going to shut down.
Yeah,
Let me get off.
he
of that.
hasn't been.
No, you're good.
Oh, I mean, I got it here. I could probably pull it
Pull
up.
it up, Nick.
You won't do it.
Oh, great song.
I can't even understand him on Twitter. I don't even know how we're gonna get through the rap. This isn't even him.
It's auto-tune. I bet that's him. It's just auto-tune.
When
Yeah.
you got a terrible voice, they just give you the electronic.
That doesn't sound like him.
It's just him auto-tune.
So it's just him singing
Whole lot of
whole
money.
lot of money. I got a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Whole lot of money. I
Producer's
got a
sitting there
whole
going,
lot of
man, you
money.
suck. Let me just oil
Whole
this
lot
out.
of money. There's no even
Till I lose it in this lawsuit.
whole lot of money. I got a whole lot of money.
Let's see.
Nobody signed me. I got a whole lot of money.
It's better than his song.
Yeah, Nick's
Sitting
spitting.
on
Nick's
the
spitting
bench.
bars.
Got a whole lot of money.
Let's see. Hayden says Antonio Brown is a cancer for an organization and any team he touches, and Hayden's a Steeler fan, so
That's
he
right,
obviously
Hayden.
knows.
That's
And you got to
right.
have a couple verses about dissing the Patriots, the Steelers, the Raiders, the Saints, like all these
Yeah.
teams that he's
Everybody.
played for, tried out with, and then gotten banned.
Don't
by.
burn too many bridges, Antonio. That's
The
all I'm
XFL
telling
went at him too. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, I would never touch the XFL." He goes, "Don't worry, we're in the same boat.
I
We
mean,
would never
like, what
touch
is
you either."
Antonio Brown gonna? I mean,
No.
he's not getting no TV deal. Like maybe I'll write a book.
No, he's just going to disappear.
He's gonna play, but just
I
shut
don't know, man.
use your hands and shut your mouth.
I really don't know. I thought he was going to,
He's
at
gonna-
least be
he's
on
gonna
the
Well,
play.
he's
team.
still on the
I think he really
commissioner-
might be done.
He's
so.
still on the
gonna
exempt
play.
list, but if he gets cleared of everything and gets off the exempt list, I think he'll play somewhere.
Why would you want that in your
Shut
locker
your
room?
mouth.
I don't
shut
know.
your thumbs. Catch the
Because
ball.
everybody's saying that him and Lev Bell basically destroyed the Steelers. I mean, they
Yeah.
were good for a bit, but
Yeah.
then they destroyed them at the end.
Well,
I mean,
Le'Veon, he was having a fallout with Gase too in New York, and I mean, I guess I don't know if they hashed it out or what, but I mean, it just goes to show credit Mike Tomlin for what he did with
Yeah.
those two guys, and like
Right?
nobody
That's
knew
for years.
for how
Long
for
time.
how bad, how cancerous those two have become. Not really Lev Bell. Lev Bell was he was just kind of a diva for doing his whole holdout
Yeah,
thing.
and he
Yeah.
had the whole. I mean, he had the marijuana issues, but like this year he was pretty positive. It felt like of
Yeah,
a failing
yeah.
team. So I don't know, man. I think Adam Gase is a weird dude. He doesn't get along with anybody.
that picture of him at the press conference was introduced.
The
to
introductory
Jets, like,
one?
His eyes, like
Oh,
like he was
yeah,
on
we-
like crack or something.
I don't know what he was on, but he was on something.
What is your guys' opinion of the coach turnover in the NFL? How you have a lot, and it really focuses more on bad teams. Obviously, you have like the Mike Tomlins, the Bill Belichick's, but you have growing teams where they get a coach and they turn it around, kind of like the 49ers. But when you look like the Bengals, the Dolphins, I mean, even like the Jets to an extent, teams that bring a coach in, they don't perform in a year, and then they switch again right to somebody else.
It all depends what that guy got done that year.
Yeah.
If he was making right decisions and his quarterback's just getting drilled because he doesn't have an offensive line, or it all depends where the mistakes are coming from or the issues are coming from. If the guy's making sound decisions, you might want to keep him around. If he looks like he's just faltering as far as trying to be a leader at this level, and you know what? We know this
Like
in
the
a year.
Browns.
like
head
Freddie
coach.
Kitchens.
We know
You
this
know
in a
Freddie
year. See
Kitchens
it.
was never going to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Ever.
I think that was
Ever.
the wrong decision from the start for them. They should have gone with somebody else. But I
Mike
just
McCarthy was interested in them last
Yeah.
year.
When you had somebody like
I-
Patricia, you kind of look at him and go, well, maybe. He'd be all right. you know?
but
No,
I-
I don't know. Decision-wise, he just doesn't have the talent.
Well, he doesn't know. No, he doesn't. He has some talent, and Stafford keeps getting hurt. It's fine, but he is a bad decision maker. Because Zook was the one telling me like, "What do you think about Patricia?" And I was like, "Oh, I love it." He's like, I don't know." And I said, "I'll give him time." And it's been through year 2, and I'm pretty much out on Patricia.
I think
I
though,
know, so you said way too many injuries.
I think though sometimes coaches don't get a large enough leash. I mean, because
I agree.
teams want you to win now. And if you're taking over a franchise, the Browns are a little bit different because they kind of got their weapons now. They got Baker. And so for Freddie Kitchens not to get them into the playoffs this year, even as a first-year head coach, still he had the weapons there to do it. But if you're adopting a team like the Dolphins or the Bengals, and you got to have a few 3-4 years to get these guys to trust you.
it's a chemistry, though. I feel like they
it's
get
a chemistry,
feeling.
and it's probably you probably need more time as a college coach to develop players and really get recruiting classes to trust you and stuff. Like these guys are professionals; they're adults. If there's a head coaching change, they'll figure it out. They don't really care. They don't want to switch teams like that. But I still feel like with some of these bad teams, you got to get somebody in there that can not only work with the players but also work with the fan base and do all the extra stuff that's asked of a head coach of an NFL team.
What you're talking about is the GM mixing in with the head coach because
and owners.
Parcells said it years ago. Look, if you want me to cook the meal, help me buy the groceries. Let me have some input in buying the groceries, meaning getting the right players in here. So if that's going on with these weaker coaches or not, now you go, okay, look, I can coach a real team when I got weapons where I need them. But if I don't have the right weapons, we can put any schemes together, but it's not going to work. So
right, yeah, you're right.
you
And
gotta
that's
really look
why,
at it.
like, you look at the 49ers, who I think have been a testament of this, like being patient, and through the Jimmy G injury last year, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are obviously very close and communicate on every decision they make. That's not the reality of a lot of these front offices, and I think management has a lot to do with it, because I think that Nick's right. There is a little bit of a fired culture in the NFL, and it hasn't been as prevalent, especially not this year, because the only guys that have really deserved to get fired have gotten fired. Like Jay Gruden in Washington, though, I think is a good example of this. I think obviously he had enough losing seasons to where fine, fire him, whatever. But do you guys think that Jay Gruden sucks?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't think he's that bad
I
of a
think
coach.
he's mediocre,
He's not
but
that bad.
I
It's
mean,
just-
I don't
mean-
think he was ever given a chance.
I thought his name.
with
I
the
will be
Redskins.
honest. I thought his name kind of helped him. He was in a bad situation in Washington, but the fact
Sure.
that his last name's Gruden,
And I don't think
it
he was a
bought
great
another year.
coach. I don't think he was a great coach.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was a bad coach, and I don't think it really would have mattered who they had. I think it'll be interesting to see with Ron Rivera. Like, they got Dwayne Haskins, so if Dwayne Haskins sucks for the next 2 or 3 years, they're just going to shit can him down the road
I don't
too.
know why Ron would take that job. There's
Me
just so
either.
many other big time
I know,
jobs
me
available.
either.
Yeah.
And Dallas, because Jason Garrett hasn't been officially fired, has he?
Yes, he
No.
is.
I don't
They
think
they
so.
didn't announce anything.
They haven't
I
announced
thought.
anything.
I haven't seen it.
Now I've heard
Yeah, they
reports
parted
that
But they're
ways. They-
interviewing
that's
people.
what they
They parted
But
ways.
there's no official thing
They
that says
did?
Jason Garrett's fired. Like, I've heard that they're getting rid of the entire coaching staff, but I have not seen a report saying he is officially fired.
Yeah, they met on Thursday and they said they mutually agreed to part ways.
So there was that report, and then it's been nobody really knows what's going on, because there was a report like they expect to part ways. Yeah, Jason Garrett's going to be gone. Blah blah blah. And then they started interviewing people, but
This
then
is
there
the
hasn't
softest
there
firing I've
there
ever heard
hasn't
of.
been an official statement from the Cowboys. It's just all been.
If anybody else knows
reports.
there-
Yeah,
'Cause
you're
I
right.
have not seen an
Jason
official
Garrett has
text
been
us in.
campaigning to remain the Cowboys coach.
I'm telling you, I think Jerry Zook said this. I was listening to the midweek show. He thinks Jerry is
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
campaigning to keep
Yeah.
Jason Garrett. I think you're right.
You're right. Cowboys talked to Mike
It's-
McCarthy,
it's
Marvin
really
Lewis,
weird.
but still no word on Jason Garrett.
Wild.
But here's
it's a
here's
wild
why.
situation.
Here's I don't know about Marvin Lewis, but but
I'm just reading who they're
McCarthy's
interviewing.
a talent. I don't know if he signed with the Giants yet. He should.
Yeah.
He should. But I tell you right now,
Well,
I wouldn't take the Giants job.
Who wants that frickin' Dallas job with Jones looking over your shoulder
the money
every
though.
goddamn
The
day?
money.
The money, the
The mon- the
talent,
money
the
will better
be a lot of
exposure.
I
money.
would
because-
take the Dallas job
Yeah.
before the Giants.
The,
Oh,
the thing
absolutely.
is, as bad as Jerry Jones is, and as hard of a team that is to, or not team, the team's good. It's hard of a environment that is to coach in with the expectations of being in Dallas, America's team under Jerry as an owner that's very hands-on. The offense that you got Dak, you have Zeke, you have a good defense. I mean, you can bring the pieces in there. And I think Dallas, yes, they're interviewing Marvin Lewis, McCarthy. They're waiting for the playoffs to be over, and they're waiting for bowl season to be over, because there's a lot of college coaches that are in the running for that job. Matt Rule, I'm trying to think who else.
Urban Meyer,
Lincoln Riley.
What are they interviewing Lewis for? Like a beer manager?
Yeah,
Rooney Rule. That
Dude,
meets
yeah.
the Rooney Rule.
He's one of the guys that held on
the
to his
Niners,
job for
the
no
Niners
reason.
defensive
Forever.
coordinator.
Honey, are you
Yeah,
getting paid
Saleh.
again?
The Ravens offensive coordinator. So they're waiting until everything is over before making a decision, because I mean, they might go to the Ravens OC and be like, "Hey, do you want the Dallas job?" And you might say no. I mean, you
Yeah.
might want to stay with Lamar
Yeah.
in Baltimore if they win a Super Bowl. You might just want to stay there for another year or two, and because again, Dallas, it's a job that requires a certain personality, because yes, you're the head coach, but you have to be submissive to Jerry.
It's
and
also the
what
Yankees
he
of the
wants.
NFL.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is.
Like, you're the head coach, but like not really.
You have to win in Dallas.
You're
And
like you're like a head coach, but you're still a puppet.
Okay, let's go with a 44 double reverse on two. Hold on, Jerry's dialing in.
Jerry-
Oh, we're going to go with a 33
Yeah.
dive.
Hail Mary instead. Yeah.
So it's going to take a certain personality to
Definitely.
be in that position in Dallas, because that city more than anywhere else is. I guess LA is probably a little bit similar with just the big lights in Hollywood. Is you have to there's a certain expectation
Except
beyond
nobody cares about football.
just
there,
being a head
but-
coach. Yeah, that's true.
Colby says Glazer said Garrett is still lobbying for the job, but Cowboys do not want him. That's wild to me, though. And then Tolly says they're waiting for his contract to expire January 14th.
That makes sense too.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
He said Cowboys also want Zimmer. Wedwick did.
Zimmer, like Minnesota Zimmer?
Yeah, Minnesota.
I
Zimmer.
was
think he
having
would
a
leave
text
Minnesota?
conversation with him yesterday, and I personally, I don't know. I don't buy any
This
of
was
that.
interesting because I was listening on the radio
He wouldn't leave that.
to
I don't
101
think.
on the way over.
Well,
and
they think that Minnesota would fire him. That's what he was
they think
saying.
Minnesota would fire him because
What?
he's
Yeah.
not getting the job done. Because again,
They've
here
been consistent.
they-
I thought they have.
have they made a Super Bowl though?
Is,
And
okay, if
again,
it's Super Bowl or bust,
They
no.
have the
but
pieces to do it there.
What were they
and-
before he got
he
there?
made a run with Case
Awful.
Keenum.
Yeah.
He made a fucking
Terrible.
run with Case Keenum.
But the thing is, though, is that at some point, this happens to a lot of teams. A coach can only coach a team so far, and at what point do they switch and go with somebody else
Yeah.
when he's not getting the
know,
job
man.
Well,
done?
and we saw that with Mike Mularkey and the Titans. And I think that Nick's having some pretty good takes today.
Thank you.
I gotta admit. So,
Would you stop boosting his ego? My God.
That's all we need.
It's playoffs.
Oh my
I come
God.
but
prepared.
I agree with you. I think that's you hit the nail on the head. That's
Okay.
why the fans. That's why the fans in Minnesota though are. I think his act is growing tired. I just think like, how in the hell are you gonna fire him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you bringing in to replace him?
You
That's the
can't fire him.
question.
He's a solid coach. I mean, you
Top 10 defense,
you got a
perennial.
great defense over there. The only thing they don't have is a damn quarterback. And I used
Right.
to be a Cousins fan. I'm not anymore. And you watch today. We'll get into this in a minute. But when Cousins gets a hand in his face, he's nothing. But he's got injuries going on. Cook's got an injury.
Yeah.
He's got
That's
Thielen's-
their whole
Thielen's
offense.
been out
Cook's
the whole
back
second half of the year. I
Yeah.
mean, this guy's. Why would you get rid of coach?
If you
I mean,
notice-
they're,
Yeah.
close. They're close. Minnesota's
Yeah.
close.
There's some like fetish with NFL teams now about going after these college coaches that are like the Lincoln Rileys, that these big time college coaches
Yeah.
that are young and up and coming,
like
and they
Cliff Kingsbury.
Chip Kelly.
yeah they
back
go
in
to
the
an
day.
SEC school or they go to a Big 12 school and go undefeated, and then all of a sudden like they're like, oh yeah, we have to have this coach to coach our NFL team. He's young, he knows all these guys from the NFL world or from the college world that they can bring in and get those draft picks and work out the young team and new systems and stuff like that. It's like these NFL or these college coaches aren't that proven. They they start as a grad assistant. A couple years later, they go to a lower school. A couple years after that, maybe they're at a bigger school. So they might be 3 or 4 years removed from being an assistant in college, and all of a sudden they're a head coach of an NFL team and just get burned. I mean, it happened to Saban when he went to the Dolphins. Like,
Yeah.
Saban's the greatest college coach of all time, and even he couldn't figure it out in the NFL. They're taking these college coaches too quickly out of college into the NFL.
See, I think Jim Harbaugh should get back in the NFL.
I think
and
so,
I know
too.
Zook, you don't like that because you like Harbaugh, but I think he's at the point where
I'm
think
getting
he's
there
an
with
NFL
I'm
coach.
he's
getting
at
there
the
with
point like,
Harbaugh.
he can't do much more in Michigan
Exactly,
to win. So go to the
exactly.
NFL. He was
Yes.
successful in the NFL.
Yes.
Took the Niners to the
Yes.
Super Bowl,
Yes.
lost to his brother, but he's a good coach.
I
thought
agree.
he's a good coach.
He
I
is a good
agree.
coach.
Solid.
I think one of his best assets as a coach, though, is his recruiting ability, which obviously is nil in the NFL. If you look at his 49ers tenure, he had really good coordinators, and John does this year. That's why the Ravens are so good. They're not like X's and O's guys by themselves. So that's my one worry, I guess, if Jim were to go back to the NFL. But they know people, and people like them
Right.
and want to be a part of their
Oh,
staff.
right.
So
Sure.
yeah, I'll tell you this. I mean, I think that Jim has done a great job returning Michigan to like prominence, but it is getting kind of tired. Like, he has not beat Ohio State one time. We went, I think, 9-4 this year, lost to Penn State, Ohio State, the bowl game, and then the other big game we played. I forget to who. I think
We
it was,
went.
Is
You-
this-
You're totally
We?
on
Yeah,
board. now.
yeah.
He's a
You're-
Michigan
You
guy.
sound like Brett
You're
Hull.
on the
big-
te-
I'm a
you're-
big
you
Michigan
play on
guy.
the team?
We went.
I might
Blues.
as well.
We went Blues.
Is
yeah.
he fourth year? Is that his fourth year? He
I think
just
that's
coached
his
at
fifth year.
Michigan?
I think
Really?
it's his fifth year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean,
We're getting old.
But that's what it comes down to, and I think there is not enough onus put on the assistants too, the OCs and the DCs, the guys that are surrounding the head coach, because again, the head coach is responsible for a lot of things that are off the field and outside of the game itself. The relationships with the GMs and the fans and things like that. I just think that oftentimes there's too much that. Some of these college coaches need to be a little bit more proven before they get to the NFL, and college coaches like Harbaugh, are probably better in the NFL than they are in college, and some guys are college coaches for life, like Saban and Dabo, that they're never going anywhere. But some of these NFL teams that are grabbing these young assistants out of college, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Your thoughts are welcome on Facebook, or you can always text us 314-877-8597. One more reminder, if you share this post at the end of the show after our picks, after Big Web's Best Bet of the Week, we will go ahead and draw 2 names that win a $20 gift certificate, but you cannot be in the running until you share this post, so share it right now here on Facebook. Guys, let's get to the standings first for the BOTB Pick'em. The reason I wanted to bring this up, someone at the top of the list is just dominating everybody.
Wow.
Kicking everybody's ass. It's
Pat
me.
your
It's me.
ass.
TJ
Pat
Weber.
yourself on the ass.
What a surprise!
I'm up by 6 now.
Yeah, no.
Did Hessler
cow.
quit playing? I saw that he didn't do his picks yesterday.
Maybe he forgot that it's through
I didn't do
playoffs.
any picks
A
yesterday.
bunch of
he did it. He did week 17 though, right?
A bunch of
I think
people
so.
did not put in picks this week.
Yeah.
I think
I
so.
saw that.
We made the announcement that it went through the
Yes,
playoffs,
this is through
though. So
playoffs.
I guess people just
I
forgot.
didn't put any picks in.
Tony Weber
Mark-
did not.
Well,
Mark
I
put any
gave up
picks
after
So did
like
Jake
week
Scott and
10.
Tolly. Now the thing is,
in.
they
No wonder
need
you're
to
up by 6.
they need to pick though because we can't win. Like I can't win the prize. We're giving away an NFL jersey, so
Mark pick. So he
Yeah,
can,
Mark is still
I
on.
text him now because he can get in these 2 games
yeah,
today.
Yeah,
still.
Mark.
He probably just forgot about
Jake,
Saturday.
Tolly are all still right there, probably within reach. John in 6th behind me. I'm in 5th. Me and John are probably out of it. I can obviously win, but John's
Yeah.
probably out of it at 133. So because there's 6 games between him and Hessler. So and then Jake Scott at 138 and Tolly at 137.
What's
so.
Hessler's favorite NFL team?
He is a Brady guy. I don't know if he's got a team, but he's a
Brady
Brady guy. Yeah.
If I was him, I'd go throwback red Pats Brady jersey.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I love
Rojo
that one.
Pats.
Rojo
Brady
Pats.
did.
One time we at when I was working at 590, we had our NFC AFC championship party, and somebody donated a signed Gronk game worn red Pats jersey.
Wow.
It was sick.
That is
It
dope.
was dope. And we
Somebody
gave
just
it away.
donated that?
Yeah, it was like a collector.
Oh, I
A
got
collector donated it. Yeah, the
Nice.
game worn red Pats signed.
What did you
Gronk
guys
jersey.
do to give that away? Like, what was the?
We should
what-
we did raffles.
Oh, it was just raffle.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
That's a sick
Yeah.
prize.
Can you
Oh, yeah.
imagine falling ass backwards
Oh
into
my
that?
Yep, yeah,
Have that hanging down in your man cave, like that'd be so sick.
yeah. It was cool.
Sue says speech not in sync. Yeah, we've had a little
Yeah.
internet issues, so we apologize
Thanks,
for
Grandma.
that. But we're
So
getting
what-
through
Grandma's
it.
always watching out.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not. In
Now
sync
we're
with-
yeah. Should we mess with all the listeners?
Right, the whole time. Just like don't speak. Wait. That'd be funny. All right, well, let's go
we have,
quickly with the
nine,
picks.
9 solid viewers still staying with us, though, even though
The
our
audio's-
speech is not in sync.
the
so
audio's entertainment
thank you
enough.
To 11.
Thanks,
now.
listeners.
Thank you. We're going
Thanks,
up.
listeners.
Numbers going back up. Maybe we're back.
So we'll go quickly since it's out of sync. I am in first with 145. Mark Kessler in second with 139. Jake Scott in third with 138. Tolly is in fourth with 137. And Nick's in fifth with 134. And as far as the panel goes, Big Web in seventh, tied for seventh with 130. And
124.
where is Zuck? He went 24 and 16. Nick,
This
what
is the worst year
yeah.
of picks I've ever had in my life. I suck.
Jumping over to the panel picks. Big week for Big Web last week, going 6-1, wearing the crown.
That was real impressive.
His
Nice.
7th crown. TJ goes 4-3. I go 3-4. Zook goes 2-5.
Yes.
So looking at the regular standings on the year, after 17 weeks, I take the regular season 60-54. TJ finishes second, 56-59. Still going through playoffs though here, so he's 4 games back. Big Web 54-60 in third, and Zook 52-62. 8 games back after 17 weeks. I had 9 crowns. Big Web 7. TJ 6. Zook 3. So, and after last night's game, updated standings would be I'm 62-54, TJ 58-59, Big Web 55-61, and Zook 52-64.
Almost a 500, baby.
10 games
Nice.
out of
Go.
first place. So Zook has officially been
Jesus.
eliminated
See you, Zook.
from
Yeah.
the
Good year.
I was in
panel.
second like 2 weeks ago, and I don't think I've picked a game right since.
Yes.
How funny
How
is
many
this, though?
games
We've
did-
all been so close together. All 4 of us
Yeah.
all
Not
year. That's
anymore.
pretty good.
I'm kind of separating myself
Yeah.
from
A
little
the pack
bit.
in the
Overall,
wrong
though.
direction.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you
It's
and,
early.
You and Big Web are right down there. Big Web is now 7 games out with 9 games left, so he's pretty much all but eliminated.
You know what's funny is I actually won money yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, I bet Pat's Titans under was the thing I felt best about.
Yesterday was
Nice.
a very good.
Yeah.
day.
yeah, and Big Web, and we'll jump to his best bet after we do picks, but is looking quite nice.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just do picks again because we apologize for the audio being
Apologize
off.
for
But
the audio.
2 games, boys. Let's go ahead. Big Web will have you start. We'll go around this way.
Okay.
Minnesota, New Orleans, and Vikings are getting 7.5.
I'll tell you what, this spread started at 7.5, went all the way to 9.5 this morning. Now it's back down to 7.5. So I don't know if we have a little injury update on Cook or Thielen or whatever, but that could make the difference.
probably
there.
play.
Cook is in.
But
Cook and Thielen are both
Dalvin
in.
Cook is in.
I'm a big fan of New Orleans today. If you guys read yesterday's article, we need them today to finish off a nice parlay that we started yesterday. I just think Breeze is going to be too much for him. You know, Minnesota's secondary has been giving up big plays. I think Thomas can have a day today. I believe that Kamara out of the backfield is going to be able to receive some balls, although Minnesota's been very good against that short running back pass. But, you know, I just think also on the other side of the ball, when New Orleans is on defense, they can rush the passer better than anybody else, and they can stop the run. So I think it's going to be domination of New Orleans. I am a little concerned about the spread move here, about 1.5 in the last hour. But
what's moving towards your Saints, though?
Yeah,
right.
It is.
So that's better for you.
Well, when they were giving Minnesota more and more, it's like, okay, the money's going the other way. But you know, I'm just saying, New Orleans. I'm sticking with New Orleans with this fluctuation.
Yeah, it's probably because Dalvin Cook and Thielen are both in.
Yeah.
So.
They're just getting better. They think they're going to play better. They're going to do more, so it's going to be a closer football game. But I'm still sticking with New Orleans, and I just like them in that football game. Over-under is a real tough call in this game. I'm going with just the side of New Orleans.
Nick,
Yeah,
what do you think?
I'm obviously going New Orleans in this one. I think New Orleans will win the game. I think Minnesota might cover. I'm sticking with New Orleans to cover, but I think Minnesota could still make this one close. Like Big Web made the point earlier, when pressure gets in Kirk Cousins' face, he sucks and he can't. I mean,
He crumbles.
We saw it a couple games ago. That's going to be brutal. And I looked to see Minnesota run the ball here a little bit more. And so depending on how Cam Jordan plays, are they with their other top defensive end, or is he out?
Are you talking about Marcus Davenport?
Yes.
I think he's in.
Is
I
he-
didn't
is he
see
in?
anything
That's going to
about
be
him.
another key factor. If Dalvin Cook, assuming
Yeah.
he plays, which I'm pretty sure he's in, that'll make a big difference there on defense for New Orleans. But Breeze at home, it's just you can't really bet against that. And Michael Thomas has looked so good this year.
Unbelievable.
Kamara needs to
Yeah.
have a good game. Kamara hasn't really had great games
I
at
think
all
he's
this
the
season.
key today. I
He's
really
kind
do.
he's kind of been getting
He's-
going the last couple
yeah,
weeks.
Yeah, he has.
Taysom Hill,
They've
too.
Taysom Hill.
they've started to use him a little bit more. Jared Cook looks great. I mean, when Breeze connects with Jared Cook, or when Breeze plays, Jared Cook is a different player. And so I think those are all big keys. But New Orleans at home in the playoffs, just kind of hard to bet against. So I'm going New Orleans to win the game.
I went back and forth on this a lot. I mean, it's tough. For some reason, Minnesota's sticking in my brain because of the 7.5. If it was 6.5, I think I go Saints. But I think I'm going with Minnesota. I think that New Orleans wins
It
the
might be a
game.
field goal. Yeah.
It's one of those things, though. It's like a late touchdown, garbage time cover for Minnesota. That's what this feels like today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For some reason, I think that you'll see a couple bombs to like Diggs. He'll open it up with Thielen coming back. I think Cook will run the ball pretty well. And I think New Orleans will have an early scare, like where it's a game where like Minnesota goes up 10-0 and everybody has
It'd
their
be
quick freak
like
out.
the Buffalo Texans game yesterday.
Correct. And then the Saints come back late. They'll go up by like 14, and then garbage time touchdown by Minnesota. So I think the Saints will win the game. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl, to be honest. But Minnesota always plays tough in the playoffs, especially later in the game. So I'm going to take Minnesota just because of the number, but I think the Saints will win the game.
It's honestly.
I thought I was going to be alone with Minnesota, and I felt better about Minnesota because the line was moving more in their direction at 8, 9, 10 points, and now it's all the way back down to 7.5, which I don't like because I feel like there's no way Minnesota doesn't blow a PAT or go for 2 and not get it at some point in this game.
Yeah.
But I'll go with Minnesota to lose but cover the 7.5. Again, like you were saying, Nick, I don't think there's any way that New Orleans loses the game. That said, the spread, this is the largest spread of the playoffs, and I don't think that Minnesota's the worst team in the playoffs, right?
No.
Like I think that as long as they can run the ball, that's when Kirk is not that bad. When they can get the play action, then he can find Thielen and Diggs crossing the formation. So I think that that'll obviously be important. They need to get Cook going early, but the defense plays really well. They play in a dome themselves up in Minnesota, so if any team was going to be at least partially immune to the Superdome, you would think it would be those guys. And the last time they played in the playoffs, Minnesota did win. I know it's obviously completely different.
Yeah.
Completely
The
different.
Minneapolis Miracle.
I remember watching that one.
That was so
I-
cool.
I-
One of my close friends had a money line bet on that one. Let's just say that. So, yeah, on the Saints.
on the
TJ was
bad
very
side.
invested for his friend.
Yeah,
my
that
friend had a
sucks.
very big bet on the money line.
Oh man,
yes,
that is bad beat
I was
central.
with
Yes.
TJ and his buddy who bet on the game. He was pissed.
no, that was Rams New Orleans. That was even worse.
Oh, that was even.
That
worse.
was a different year.
So
God,
he's
they
done.
get-
He's
they
done.
get screwed
He's
in
been
the
on the
playoffs.
bad
That was
end
a
of
different
both
year.
those. He's been on the bad end of both those.
Yes.
Yes. You hate to see it.
Yes.
That's
The
hilarious.
non-pass
hate
interference.
to see
Yes.
it.
Yep.
Well, I guess
My friend is very upset about those games.
long story short, I'll take the Vikings to cover. I feel awful about it.
This
But
game could honestly come down to the opening coin toss. Whoever gets the ball first.
Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah.
gets the ball first and scores first.
you're right. Minnesota has to start fast.
It could literally come down to that because
Uh-huh.
Saints start hot and get out to that early 7-point lead. They probably cover. If the Minnesota gets out to that 7-point lead,
Right.
then all of a sudden New Orleans needs 2 touchdowns to beat them, or 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yep.
Like, that's what's going to come down
Yeah,
to.
like
it's
if
going to
New-
come down to the opening coin toss.
If New
And
Orleans
who-
starts really fast and gets up like 7-0,
yeah.
14-0, 10-0, like
Changes-
there's
Could
no
happen.
way Kirk Cousins is bringing them
No,
back.
changes the whole perception of the game and how things go. It's going to be whoever not who gets the ball first, but whoever scores first is going to win the football game.
All right, and then the final game we have for this week, Seattle and Philly. It's a pick'em. Literally says even.
Oh.
It's a pick'em. Yeah, what
What's
do you
our
got?
status of Zach Ertz?
Ertz is questionable.
Got something bad.
Got-
torn,
He's
Goddard's
got like
been
9 different injuries,
torn
but he'll
spleen
play.
or
Well, here's the
something
thing.
huge.
Goddard's been tearing it up, but then you got Alshon Jeffrey's gone, Deshaun Jackson's gone, Aguilar's out. Their entire receiving core is deplenished.
It's Greg
done.
Ward, the
It's Greg
ex-Houston
Ward.
quarterback.
You
and the tight
gotta
ends.
feel like Zach Ertz is playing then. So
Yeah, he's
They're
gonna
gonna force
play.
him to play. He has to play.
wrap it up and get out there,
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
No, and I'll tell you what. Also, the running backs on both squads are different from the middle of the year too. There's all kinds of new injuries. I tell you what. I think this is going to be a smash mouth football game. I think it's.
I hate this
am,
game.
I am picking.
do I.
I am picking the under in this game and a teaser right now on my phone. But
now on my
I
phone?
tell you right now, I think that Philly at home is a whole different team. They battle. Wentz just digs in and they find a way. It's a very tight football game. It's going to be smash mouth. I don't think Seattle's going to be able to do it. A Seattle fan said yesterday, our team runs the ball on first down, runs the ball on second down, and prays that the quarterback can get something done on third down.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they do out there with Russell Wilson. And sometimes those prayers don't work, and you're in Philly where they're throwing batteries at you and snowballs and all kinds of bullshit. So give me Philly at home.
Yeah, Philly is a hostile environment. Carson Wentz is finally seemingly starting to figure it out a little bit. Like, he has some touches of greatness, and he's shown that. So if he plays healthy, Philly does have a good shot. However, Seattle is a team that shows up when playoff time comes. Pete Carroll's been there before. Philly's been up and down all season long. Probably doesn't even deserve to be in the playoffs, even though they had a couple weeks. And TJ just made a great point about how, and Zook made a great point about how all the receivers are out. So that's going to be tough. They're going to try to run the ball more. Seattle's going to key on that. And then on the offensive side of the ball for Seattle, Russell Wilson's been one of the best quarterbacks all year. He's got Tyler Lockett. He's got DK Metcalf. He's got good wide receivers. And then the money man himself, he's back. He's ready to go. Marshawn Lynch, Skittles returns. He's
Yeah.
going to be the difference maker of this game. I mean, when Chris Carson went out, I was like, Seattle season's probably over.
Yeah.
Rashad Penny.
And then Rashad Penny went out, and then
CJ
CJ
really
Phillips
over.
went out.
and it's like, you're done. And then all of a sudden the rumblings start. Skittles is back in Seattle. He shows
Quit calling
up.
him Skittles.
He shows up in Seattle in the Escalade, opens the door, and just Skittles pile out.
Hilarious.
And he gets out, signs that contract with Seattle. And I mean, it's Marshawn Lynch. It's playoff Marshawn Lynch. He's here for redemption. They threw the freaking ball. They didn't run the ball. They're gonna run the ball with Marshawn
They
Lynch.
ran for like 34 yards last week.
I know. Marshawn
Their
Lynch.
rookie ran for 60.
Marshawn Lynch. He's the X factor. Let's go. He's probably not the X factor, but I like Seattle here.
All right. Yeah, I got to go with Seattle. When you look at the Eagles and what they have nothing now. Literally their entire receiving core. Like, we talked about it. Their entire receiving core is done. There's nobody there. Zach Ertz is even hurt. It's Dallas Goedert, Ertz, and some guy I don't even remember his name. What was his name, Zook? The receiver?
Greg Ward Jr.
I mean, Greg Ward is
played
their number
QB
one
at
receiver.
Houston.
Yeah. A QB from college is their number one receiver right now. It tells me everything. Who cares that they're at home? Seattle's going to wipe the floor with these guys. I can't believe it's a pick 'em. I know that they got no running back. It's Marshawn Lynch. Seattle's going to kill them. I don't see this even being a game. Honestly, I think it's free money
Really?
to take Seattle. Yeah, I think it's free money.
Breaking news. 15 hours ago, Zach Ertz is in. So
Yeah. Well, I changed my. No, I'm just kidding.
oh man, Ertz is in. It's a leading receiver Zach Ertz will dress Sunday against Seahawks.
So look what he got.
I take I take Seattle too. I don't feel nearly as confident as you do about it, but
I don't see Philly.
I think Seattle's just the better team, and it's a pick 'em, so I'll take the better team. But
wow.
is Seattle going to go to Lincoln Financial Field and win twice this year? They've already done it, and they did dominate them in that game. But like you said, Big Web, they're going to be throwing batteries, and it's going to be wild. And
okay, they don't always throw batteries.
Yeah, they do. It's
every game.
Oh, this is my flashlight.
Quarters.
This is my wife's vibrator. This is that's how they get through the door. And then
Can you imagine being Russell Wilson getting smoked with a vibrator in the helmet? God, you go viral for the wrong reasons.
It's like when your
That'd be hilarious.
cousin we were at the Kentucky Derby tried to sneak in whiskey in a sunscreen bottle.
Oh, that's right. And they were all over it.
this is, I think,
Sam did.
I thought
we've
you
actually
said
had
he's
a pretty.
trying to sneak in a vibrator.
Yeah,
I was like,
Sam was trying to sneak in a vibrator to the Kentucky Derby.
Hey, your pocket's shaking.
Whoa!
We've actually had a pretty clean year this year,
It's my
but
leg
typically
massager.
there's a dildo that gets thrown on the field at some point every year.
God.
Wouldn't be surprised
man.
Mr.
if
Bloomington, NFC Central over here.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean that took a weird turn.
It always
I'll
does.
take I'll take the Seahawks.
BOT
I
different
think
thing.
that I think that Philly, bottom line, they've gotten it done, sure, last couple weeks, but they beat the Cowboys, who weren't very good, and had all the drama with the coach. Then they beat the Redskins, and then they almost lost to the Giants. It's like, oh, but they're getting it done. Yeah, against the Redskins,
Yeah.
who fired their coach like 8 or 9 weeks ago. So congrats. You know, like I don't think it's going to be an easy task to go in there and beat the Philadelphia Eagles twice. They do have a really good coach and a really good quarterback, but outside of that, I mean, they really struggle. So I'll take the Seahawks today.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. There we are. We're back.
It's on a black screen for a second.
We're a little dark.
Hello, everybody.
A little dark there for a second, losing viewers. You know,
Yeah, that shit happens.
It's fine. BOTV difference.
Audio off,
Audio
now video off. It's
Ah,
fine.
it's wild card wager.
And we still
weekend.
got 7 viewers. I love to see it.
I mean, I showed up like literally like 30 seconds before the show, so
Yeah.
you know,
hey, shit happens.
not
you know?
having to set up. It's that's honestly the greatest part about having the studio is you can just come in. You don't have to set anything up. I mean,
Yeah, and then you have this type of show.
then you have this type of shit.
Just
Hey,
kidding.
we
It's
did
been
show
great. No,
prep.
we've had a lot of good people sharing and everything like that.
Oh yeah, we gotta do some.
Which we will be getting to the $20 gift cards in a second. Before that, though, Big Web
Let me run a little.
is on fire right now. Talk about last week with your parlay, and also talk about what is potentially a big day today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, last week, or the week 16, we went ahead and hit 3-team parlay for, we had $20 left in the pot, and we added $2 more $100 to that. We hit the thing for $13.20.
Wow.
So we had $13.20. We went ahead and laid off week 17.
Woo!
We went ahead and laid off week 17, and we started here in the playoffs. And check out the article from yesterday because we had some real solid picks. We played, messed around with the spread a little bit. We ended up getting 2 wins yesterday. We need a nice win today on New Orleans and Philly. Check it out. Read the article. You'll see what we got going on today.
BruiseOnTheBalcony.com.
I did. That one is on BruiseOnTheBalcony.com.
I can pull it up here.
Yeah, BruiseOnTheBalcony.com.
So today, since we're in a nice position today, I went ahead and added a little bit. And what we're going to do is a nice additional teaser today.
I have it here if you want it, if it's the same as the article.
Let's hear it, yeah.
So here's what we have. So it says Big Web's best bets. See below. We are anchoring with Tennessee and New Orleans. Tennessee hit. That's nice. New Orleans risking 400. So the 7-point teaser, which if you followed it from yesterday's article, it was Tennessee, 7-point teaser, wager 100 to win 350. Tennessee plus 11.5, hit. Under New England, Tennessee, 52, hit. Then you have New Orleans minus 1. Under New Orleans, Minnesota, New Orleans under 57, and then Philly plus 8.5. So you're 2 out of 5 already on that. Then on the 3-way parlay, $100 to win 331.87. You have Tennessee plus 4.5, got it. New Orleans minus 6.5, you're buying 1.5 points.
Right.
And then you're under in the Tennessee-New England game 50, buying 5 points, which already hit. So you literally need New Orleans minus 6.5, and that's a winner.
Yes.
And then finally, 2-team parlay, you have Tennessee plus 4.5, hit, and you have New Orleans minus 8, wager 200 to win 520. So if you followed these yesterday, we posted the article yesterday, you're in line for, what is it?
A lot of money.
Over a
1,100?
grand.
Yeah.
Over
a
a
grand.
Over a grand additional to what we got you
Woo!
2 weeks ago for $1,300. Now just to sweeten this up just a bit, since we're in a
I'm
good
following
position.
Big Web's picks next year.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot better
follow
than me.
Big Web's picks right now. You got about 5 minutes, but let me show you here. So we're gonna do one more teaser that I really like here, guys. $200. New Orleans minus 1.5. New Orleans under 56.5.
Love that.
Philadelphia plus 7. Seattle under 51. That's I think it's a 6 or 7 team teaser. 200 pays 600. So that's the new bet. That's a new Sunday bet edition. Everything in the article. Check it out. Whoever's playing along, God bless you. We're gonna make you some money.
Yeah, I already made them over $1,100 this year alone. So off that, if you've been following through 17 weeks, I think, and you went 15 weeks playing the original amount of money, yeah. And then week 17 had to dip back in, but then cashed and like quadrupled or quintupled that. So
yeah,
been a good year for Big Web's best bet.
Yeah.
We also
I love
have,
technology. Lost audio. We're back, though. We're back. Holy
we lost
shit.
audio, but we're back. So we'll quickly
anyway, check out the article. Check out the new teaser today if that came across.
We will give away our 2 gift cards now. Otherwise, we'll just text you if we can't hear us, can't see us.
We're on now.
Apparently,
Apparently, we will get rid of this bullshit. We'll figure it out next time. F me sideways.
It's been a long season. As soon as we go back to the studio away from Cafe T, we leave our home. We leave our great studio at Cafe Telegraph, and it always goes to shit, but that's fine. Cafe Telegraph's better than the BOTB studio. We have 2 Cafe T gift cards giveaway here. I've already picked the winners of the people that shared. We have Hayden.
Woo! I was going to do drum roll. I did a drum roll after the announcement. That didn't really work.
Drum roll, Hayden.
Hayden Longroff. All right.
And we have my mother.
And Nancy. All right.
Hayden and Nancy.
Congratulations on
Mom
winning
will
the
give her hers. And
Cafe Telegraph gift cards.
Hayden, we have one for you here as well, so we'll get those guys to you. Thank you for everybody that watches the show, supports, shares everything that we do, not only on the BOTB football show, but also Brews on the Balcony, which you can hear Mondays and Fridays, Bras on the Balcony, which you can hear on Wednesdays, Midweek Football Show, which you can hear on Thursdays with Zach Zook, and the brand new Business on the Balcony show, which you can now hear on Tuesdays. Usually, not every Tuesday. Hopefully every Tuesday. That's the goal.
That's the plan down the road. Yes.
Monday through Friday now. Brews on the Balcony is 5 days a week here at the studio.
And we did get a new computer, so we're on the old one today. So hopefully that fixes our little flubs. I had a little work yesterday, and Nick got here 10:30 a.m., so couldn't do the new computer. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's a difference.
That's
a
difference. Difference. You're number 2 on the BOTB standings for a reason. You're supposed to be able to take care of the technical shit. I'm just here for the comedic entertainment.
I'm just a referee around here.
You're not doing your job, so that's fine.
All right. So that'll do it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. For Big Web, for Nick, for Zook, I'm TJ. Good luck in the wild card weekend. We'll see you next week for the divisional round. Let's do it.
Happy wagering.